that seemed the most salacious. Anything that had a word or phrase that sounded incriminating.
It just happened. A great deluge of a tsunami.
This link, and it's a zip file of emails, and they're from CRU, which is the Climate Research Unit in England. I'm like, what? And so I start reading.
Can you delete any emails you may have had with Keith? The fact is that we can't account for the lack of warming at the moment. I've just completed Mike's nature trick to hide the decline. I published the link to the mails so it tell everyone to go read them. Cat's out of the bag.
The claim is that climate scientists were trying to hide the fact that the globe is actually now not warming, that there's a decline in temperature.
How many people have I had there?
As soon as this stuff began to hit the press, it was instantly spun as being evidence of some vast conspiracy. As the newspapers, the bloggers, the climate science deniers, the fossil fuel companies ran roughshod over the reputation of those scientists.
There was tendency to report the claims of climate change deniers as if they were equivalent in credibility for those of mainstream science. One scientist talking about what mainstream science had found about climate change, and then they heard another apparently credible voice, even though not a scientist, saying the opposite.
You can't act as though this is skeptics. Your fellow colleagues.
Hang on a second, hold on. Let him answer your
Will you stop shouting?
Sure, I'll stop shouting.
Oh, good.
And they were left thinking, well, who should I believe?
We had death threats. So receiving emails that say we know where you live and we're going to pay your wife and children a visit. Sorry, rather.
The mainstream media were highly hostile to climate science anyway. The billionaires who owned the newspapers hated the idea that the whole economy might have to change because we were destroying our life support system.
This was a very organized misinformation campaign, a propaganda campaign, a campaign to discredit the science of climate change just weeks in advance of the Copenhagen Climate Summit, which was the most important opportunity for meaningful progress in terms of international climate policy in years.
The UN conference on climate change has begun in Copenhagen.
If the mood music is positive, then thousands of people have converged on Copenhagen, hoping that some sort of historic deal might be within reach.
To the dismay of environmental campaigners, the UN Conference on Climate Change is drawing to a close without reaching a legally binding agreement.
The climate change talks seem to be ending in confusion, if not chaos.
ClimateGate did help, in part, derail the proceedings in Copenhagen.
The emails had their biggest effect in the aftermath of the Copenhagen conference. It certainly made it harder to make the case for urgent action.
We need to do more if we are going to avoid the worst impacts of climate change. We're not acting fast enough. ClimateGate and the emails and the consortia around it has contributed to slowing that down.